Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be constructing the roof framing for a small shed. And so what we're going to be doing is making sure that we have our base structure complete. So we have a door frame, we have a window frame, and we have two wall frames. Now this is an 8-foot by 8-foot shed, and we have our frames offset so that way they're tied in with double top plates. So that's the first part. That's going to be steps number 1 through 4. This is step 5, right? So we're on part 5 of our project. And so we're going to be following these instructions here. And so we're going to scroll down to where it says number 1, and it says construct a 1.5 inch by 3.5 inch by 2 foot stud. This is going to be our gable stud. And then on the ground, you're going to have another stud, which is going to be your ridge board. That's going to be a 2 by 6. So that's going to be 1.5 by 5.5. And we're going to make that 5 feet long. So we're going to start off with this gable stud first. Let's go over to our rectangle tool. Scroll down so that we're on the blue axis. I'm going to type in 3.5 inches, comma 1.5 inches. Now before you hit enter, just make sure that those measurements are correct. Hit enter. Go to your push-pull tool and pull that up by 2 feet. Then you're going to triple click on that, make it into a group. And now what we have to do is before we place that, we have to set some guidelines where we're going to be placing that, okay? And so we want to be on the center point of our area. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to our measurement tool, tape measure, and then from the end point, right? So from the end point, you're going to bring it over. You're going to type in 4 feet, 3.5 inches. Hit enter, and that's going to give us our mark. So you can see the mark right there. That's going to be where we're going to be placing our midpoint of our gable stud on that mark. Okay, so we're going to rotate around to the back side, and we're going to do the same thing on the back side of our shed. So we're going to rotate this around. And again, we're going to go off of this side right here, and I'm going to go with my tape measure tool, go to the end point, and then type in 4 feet, 3.5 inches. Enter. That's going to mark the other side. That's where my gable studs are going to be located. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to select my gable stud, and I'm going to bring it up to the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and rotate this over. So select your gable stud. Use your move tool. Go to the end point, bring it up. Scroll in. And then from your midpoint on the group, you're going to bring it to the guide point. Okay, so you just lined up the midpoint of our gable stud with the midpoint of where our guideline was marked on our double top plate. So I'm going to rotate this around. I'm going to hit Control while I have my move tool selected. Okay, I'm going to hit Control. That's going to make it into copy mode. And I'm going to copy that over to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to place it and scroll around, zoom in, hit the move tool, select the midpoint, then midpoint to the guide point. Okay, so now both of our gable studs are in place. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my ridge board. And so let's go ahead and go over to our tool here. And so on this one right here, I'm going to draw it as, it's going to be a 5-foot long ridge board. And I'm going to have it as a 1.5 inches, comma 5 feet. And then I'm going to pull that up. So go to my push-pull tool. I'm going to pull that up by 5.5 inches. Okay. Now I'm going to triple click on that, make it into a group again. Now with this one right here, I am going to have to rotate it. So I'm going to go to my rotate tool, make sure I'm on the blue axis. I'm going to click on it again, rotate it to the direction that I want. Let's make sure we're on the blue axis here. Let's scroll in a little bit. So rotate tool on the blue axis, and then we're going to just rotate this to the direction. Now, once we have it rotated, we're going to bring our move tool and we're going to move it up into place. So on the end, we're going to bring this up to the corner, and we're going to make sure that it's lined up on that corner. Now what we have to do is, just like the directions say, you're going to be taking this 5-foot ridge and you're going to be pulling it over to the opposite side. And so I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to select the end of the ridge. So you got to kind of rotate around until you can see the end of your ridge board. Okay. Now because this is a group, we're going to hit Edit Group. I'm going to select this face right here, and then using my push-pull tool, okay, so there's our ridge board, there's our 2 gable studs, and so now what we're going to do is we're scrolling down here, and this is where we're going to start placing our rafters. So you're going to go right here and you're placing 1.5 by 3.5 rectangles on the top corner of your ridge. Then using your measuring tape, you're placing another rectangle 18.75 inches from the same corner, and then 16 inches after that. So we're going to use our rectangle tool. We're going to start with this right here. We're going to go 1.5 inches, comma 3.5 inches. Hit enter. And then using our tape measure tool, from the top corner, we're going to go 18.75 inches. And we're going to do from that point 1.5, comma 3.5. We're going to do this all the way down, right? So we have that. Now from that edge, we're going to go 16 inches. Okay, so from this edge right here, from this edge, we're going to go 16 inches all the way down our line, right? So we're going to have that 16-inch mark. And then from that point, 16 inches. And from that point all the way down. So we're going to mark all our marks now. That way we don't have to come back. And then this last one is just going to be on the edge. Okay. So now we're going to take our tool, rectangle tool, and now we're just marking 1.5 inches, comma 3.5 inches all the way down. And our last one on the edge. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to start pulling all of your rafters out. Okay, so you're going to pull this out, type in 5 feet, hit enter. You're going to do that on all of them. Type in 5 feet, hit enter. You're just going to go all the way down doing the same thing. 5 feet, enter, until all your rafters are just facing straight out. Okay, so now we are here. This is where we're at right now. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to use our pencil tool, and we're going to be drawing in this line on the top. This is going to allow us to move these up and down. Okay, so using our pencil tool, we're going to go up here to the top here, and you're going to draw a line going from end to end on all your pieces. This is just making sure that all your pieces are connected, so that way when we try to move these down, they will move. So again, pencil tool, endpoint to endpoint on all your rafters. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to move these rafters down. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to select all your faces. Okay, so this is where we're at right here. And so we're going to be selecting all of our faces at the same time. So I need you to make sure that you can see all your faces at one time. Okay, and you're going to use your select tool, and you're going to select the face. You're going to hit Control, and then you're just selecting the faces. Make sure that you're selecting the faces and not the edges. And so if you end up hitting an edge, you're going to have to start over. So we can probably zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to hit this. Make sure you have the faces only. So you saw how I had a blue edge. I had to start over. Now you could do these individually, but that's going to take you a lot more time, and all of your pieces will not be the same. So now we're going to use the Move tool, and we're going to make sure that we're on the blue axis. So hit your up arrow key on your keyboard, and you're moving these down until it's sitting right on top of your first top plate, right? So you're going down through the double top plate, and it's going to be sitting on the top of the first top plate. So it should look just like this. Okay, and then what this is replicating is our bird's mouth joint. Okay, so when we build this roof right here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out this bird's mouth joint, and your rafters will be sitting on top of that double top plate. Okay, and so that's the first side. Now you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so you're going to start from this edge right here. You're going to go over by 18.75 inches, 16 inches all the way across, and then do the same thing that you just did on this side. I hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, please let me know, and have a great day.